My mother said I'd never be like my perfect sister. She was right for the wrong reasons. My mother worshipped the ground my older sister Hannah walked on. Hannah wore cardigans and long skirts, spent Friday nights at the library, and never wore makeup. I wore crop tops and mini skirts, went to parties, and actually knew how to do winged eyeliner. To my mother, this meant Hannah was going to be a doctor while I'd be lucky to graduate high school. Every single day, Mom would compare us. When I'd come downstairs for breakfast, she'd look at my outfit and say Hannah would never dress like that because she had self-respect. When I'd go out with friends, she'd mention how Hannah was probably studying for her future while I was throwing mine away. When I'd be on my phone, she'd remind me that Hannah barely used social media because she was focused on real accomplishments. The truth was, I had a 4.0 GPA and was ranked third in my class. I just never told Mom about my grades because she never asked. She just assumed they were bad based on my clothes. I'd been accepted into the National Honor Society, was president of the debate team, and had already gotten early acceptance to 3 Ivy League schools. But Mom never came to my award ceremonies because she assumed I wasn't getting any awards. She was always too busy driving Hannah to her study groups that were actually her boyfriend Ryan's house. Mom thought Hannah was at academic decathlon practice 5 nights a week. She was really at Ryan's apartment where his parents never checked on them. Mom would brag to her friends about Hannah's dedication while Hannah was dedicating herself to something very different. When relatives visited, Mom would parade Hannah around as the family's future success story and literally tell them not to have high expectations for me. She'd say things like, "At least I was pretty, so maybe I'd marry well." My aunt once asked about my grades, and Mom laughed, saying we don't talk about that, implying they were terrible. Hannah would try to defend me, but Mom would pat her head and say she was sweet for protecting her little sister. Hannah knew about my real grades because she'd seen my report cards when I left them on the kitchen counter, hoping Mom would notice. She'd tell me she was proud of me since Mom wouldn't. Hannah was actually a C student who was barely passing her classes, but Mom never asked to see her grades, just assumed they were perfect because Hannah looked studious. The disaster started at Thanksgiving dinner with the whole extended family. Mom was giving her annual speech about Hannah's bright future and how she hoped I'd at least finish high school without getting pregnant. She actually said those exact words in front of 30 relatives. She went on about how Hannah's dedication to studying would pay off while my focus on boys and clothes would be my downfall. That's when Hannah threw up all over the turkey. Mom rushed her to the bathroom thinking she had food poisoning, but when the vomiting continued the next morning and the next and the next, Mom finally took Hannah to the doctor. Hannah was 3 months pregnant. Mom went completely silent when the doctor confirmed it. She kept saying there must be some mistake because Hannah didn't even have a boyfriend. She was always at study group. Hannah had to explain that Ryan existed, and those study groups were never real. Mom tried to keep it secret, but Hannah started showing and had to tell the family. The same relatives who'd heard Mom's Thanksgiving speech about Hannah's perfect future and my inevitable teen pregnancy were now hearing about Hannah dropping out of college to have a baby. Meanwhile, my early acceptance letters started arriving. Mom hadn't been checking the mail for my stuff because she assumed it would all be rejection letters. When Harvard's acceptance package showed up, the mailman mentioned it to our neighbor who mentioned it to Mom. She opened it thinking it was a mistake and saw not only was I accepted, but I'd gotten a full academic scholarship. She went through my room and found acceptance letters from Yale, Princeton, and Stanford that I'd hidden because I was tired of her not caring. She also found my transcripts showing straight A's for all 4 years, my SAT scores in the 99th percentile, and recommendation letters from teachers calling me the best student they'd ever taught. She confronted me screaming about why I'd hidden this from her. I told her she never asked and assumed I was failing because I wore short skirts. She tried to flip it, saying I should have told her, but I pulled out 3 years of report cards I'd left for her that she'd never looked at. I showed her emails I'd sent about award ceremonies she'd never opened. I had photos from academic competitions she'd missed because she was driving Hannah to fake study groups. Mom tried to save face by suddenly becoming proud of me. Full story on channel, link below.